Hey Khalil, my name is David Brandenburg. I am one of your fellow classmates and I reviewed your video. So, first, I want to say that it takes a lot of guts to do what we're doing, right? To put all of your footage into something, especially on YouTube, and to kind of put your early filmmaking process on the chopping block, so to speak. I will say that the one thing I commend you on is I already have a direction of where this story is going. From what I gathered, it looks like it's about two brothers, possibly. One of them must have left when a death in the family occurred, and then the other brother stuck around. And you can see that there's a fracture in that
I know. I should have called first. That's what you lead with? Can I come in?
relationship. So I can definitely see where you're going with your story, and I think that's a really, really impactful and passionate way to tell this story. Now, I will say, the first thing that stood out to me was that your video was in a vertical format. Okay. Um, Typically for a short or a reel or something like that, that would be acceptable. But obviously, for what we're doing here with this film, make sure that your footage is in landscape. Okay. The quality too. Make sure that you're just shooting with the best possible that your phone has. If you're shooting with a phone, which I assume most of us are. Go into your settings, play around with it. It doesn't necessarily have to be 4K, but at least 1080p is going to be really important. Lighting seemed really good. The direction of your scene was really good. I will say there wasn't a whole lot of footage to go through. That's kind of one area that I felt like I was left wanting more, was that there wasn't a whole lot for me to watch. There was dialogue. I definitely could tell that there was a scene happening. Um, Not everyone here is going to have microphones or anything like that, so I don't necessarily think that you need to have professional grade audio. However, in the editing process, make sure that you're bringing up some of those voices. So mess around with your audio levels. If you need to use the pen tool or something like that to kind of bring certain sections up, especially when you have multiple people talking, I would recommend doing that. Cuts. Okay. Having one long scene without any cuts is fine in some circumstances. However, I kind of feel like in your footage, it is very drawn out. So, what I would recommend you do, get that initial shot, cut to something else. Look at different cutaways. I know in the industry they call it B roll. So look at maybe a hand on the door, close ups, ultra wides, anything like that that you can do to kind of add some visual differences in your scene. Overall, man, you're on track. I can clearly see that your story has a vision, and I think for a lot of us, that's the hardest part. Um, but just use some of these tips and tricks that I'm throwing out there to kind of get you in a deeper filmmaking mode. Um, Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. I've kind of been doing video for quite a while, and so I know some of the ins and outs at a basic level. Don't be afraid to try new things, man. That's all I really can leave you with. But I'm excited to see where your story goes. I'm excited to see how it develops and the ways that you show some of these different scenes happening, right? The way that you involve your characters. Definitely make sure that you're taking the time to make them stand out. But overall, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm excited to see what comes of your short film, and keep pushing. This is not an easy process for any of us, and for a lot of us, this is the first time we've done anything like this. So be proud. All right, man. Have a good night.